Hi there, YouTube. Today, I want to do a review for you of the DeWALT MD501. Here's the box you'll receive if you buy new. This phone, I think, has been out for, 2 years, roughly. This is the box. If you manage to buy it new, I bought mine from eBay for about 123 bucks, I believe, something like that. Of course, it kind of shows you all the basic stuff, front, back, and side. And then, I don't know if you can read that. Doesn't want to focus. But there's all the information, of course. There's your box. But anyway, without further ado, here's the phone. Now, this phone boasts a 720 display. I mean, it's not best, obviously, but it is high def. Now, I've been using this for a little over a week, and in that time it sits in my pocket. There's some dust in here. Dust just kind of collects from my pocket and everything, all in here. Now, you'll notice these screws. That's where your SIM card, you can actually have two SIM cards. That's where your SIM cards go, and your micro SD card for extra storage. This phone has 16 gigs internal storage. I can't remember exactly how many you have. Free, of course, because of all the other stuff that's on it when you get it. There's your micro USB, which is on top of the phone. Kind of, in my opinion, a weird place, but hey, doesn't matter too awful much. It's just a little weird. And if you have one of those plugins for your car or something like that, you got a cord hanging up here instead of down here. It's a little weird. But there's that, and of course, I should show you. It's on like a little rubber hinge thing. You kind of got to shove that back down in, and then it's got a seal on it. I don't know if you can see that, but that seals that up for waterproofness. That's a word. Then it also has the audio jack, which is one of my first of at least a few complaints. Seemingly plugging a headphone jack into this at first, like within the first day, kind of worked. But then after that, it seems like every time you'd plug one in, it would show up with the little headphone icon. Then it would go away, and your audio would play out both the phone and like listening to it in the vehicle out its speakers, and it was just weird, and it was screwed up, basically. So that's first of a few complaints. Then, I kind of have a custom little launch setup that I downloaded, so it's not 100% as you would get it out of the box, but it's pretty close, I guess. Of course, there's the display now. I have downloaded, to compensate for that whole audio issue, I have downloaded Soundabout app, and I have the Pro version, which is where you can set where your audio goes. If it goes out to a wired headset or out the phone speakers, you manually do it. It's a pain in the butt, but it does kind of make up for that situation of what I was telling you earlier. But anyway, on the side here is your power button. You have a camera button, your audio, your volume up and down, and this is like the action button, pretty much. You can set it to do just about whatever. Okay, here we go. The audio you are hearing is recorded directly through the DeWALT MD501, and the little video of me up in the corner, also front-facing camera. So, as you can see here, let's see, the background is one of the, I guess, custom ones that DeWALT themselves have on there. They have a couple different ones that shows you somebody using their tools, so on and so forth. The launcher I'm using, which gives me the custom layout, is the Action Launcher. You can look into it more yourself if you're interested. It's kind of cool because it gives this really basic phone some extra features like swiping in from the left-hand side. It gives you this list of all your apps, which is kind of cool. And I think if you go from the right side over, it brings up kind of a quick launcher thing as well. So, you know, this phone here, its cameras aren't the greatest. I forget exactly. Let me see if I can find the specs. your cameras. Your front camera is a 5 megapixel, and your rear camera is a 13 megapixel.
Oh, that was extreme, bro.
But in my opinion, they do not look the greatest, and the camera seems like it's kind of laggy. It, I guess it's okay. I'm a little picky because of using, like the Samsung and all that stuff. The Galaxy, like I had the S7 active and the S7 Edge. Unfortunately, I busted the glass up on the S7 Edge, and the S7 active I bought used and defective. Kind of had like one green line through it, and it got worse. So I kind of use it as a camera, and that's what I recorded the first part of this video with. Now, as you'll notice up there in the upper right hand corner, you'll notice it says 4G for data. Well, often that changes to 3G, even though I'm in a 4G area, and it doesn't work worth crap. And as far as I know, there's no real setting to change that back. It's just a pain in the butt. That's one of my other complaints with this phone. It is updated to the most recent version, but Android 6.0 is the latest version for this phone. It is up to date and all that stuff, which it did have an update when I got it, and I did that, and I just had a slew of random issues with this phone. One of the other things that I had with it was I was at work and riding in the van on the way back to the shop, and this phone was giving me an issue of where it was closing apps out. It wasn't letting me work, so I've had to restart the phone before to get things to work, which is another complaint of mine, because you shouldn't have to do it that many times. It should be a once in a while thing. But then when I restarted it, it would come up and saying optimizing Android app, blah blah blah, and that went on. I bet it took probably half an hour, maybe a little more, and I just let that go in my pocket, because even if I shut it off, turn it back on, it would do the same thing. And when it finally came back on, it was still kind of having issues. So later in the evening, I turned it off, turned it back on. Well, that optimizing app thing came back up again, and this time it didn't last quite as long, but it was still an annoyance. And it wasn't like it prompted me for an update or anything like that. It was just kind of an annoyance. So, my complaints with this phone are the whole audio jack thing not working right. The camera, I wish it was better. And wearing the DeWALT name, I wish they would have let it live up to something better. While this phone is tough, I am in the HVAC line of work. I mean, I haven't really dropped this thing yet, but I'm really certain, because it's good and protected, I'm really certain it would survive. It's supposed to be able to survive a drop up to, I believe it's 2 meters, which is roughly 6 feet. Something like that. It's close to that. Anyways, onto direct concrete. So, I believe that it could do that. It's watertight as long as you got everything sealed up here. Call quality seems to be alright on it when everything, is working correctly. There is a non-removable battery in this phone. Now, the issues in review that I've had with this phone, again, the whole auxiliary jack thing. The random apps not working, having to restart the phone, altogether. The fact that it's not more up to date than it is. The cameras leave something to be desired, I believe. But I feel like if you're not so techy and you don't care about all that extra stuff, this phone might be okay for you. But I like a phone that you can play games on when you want to, which I think this phone will be capable of playing games, but I'm saying something that you could rely on. You could play games on, you could take good pictures with, like the Samsung, which I'm recording with. I wish the screen was a better resolution, but that's just me nitpicking. So those are the few things. I'm sure there's probably more little nitpicky things that, if I sat here and really could think about it, and gave myself time, I could really come up with. The things I like about the phone is, well, one, it has a nice loud speaker here on the back. That's a nice feature. Okay, So here's one of my old music videos. That's my dog. This is cranked all the way up.
You don't even know nothing about it.
Let's let it go. Here a minute.
You don't even think.
And of course, we got a plane going overhead too, so hopefully you can hear this alright.
You know? Well, yo, 'cause that's my dog, and that's my dog.
As you can hear, it plays pretty good. It's got some custom ringtones, which are like saws and stuff. And that stuff's kind of cool, manly, whatever. But it's still not enough to make me love this phone, and I want to love this phone. Like I use DeWalt tools. I want to like this phone more than I do. DeWalt, if you could step your game up, I would love to do a review on a newer, better phone. Something that could maybe compare to the Samsung. That would be cool. And if you're gonna put your name on it, that would be where to go, because you guys got a pretty high standard, I would think, as far as tools and stuff go. Good quality. So put that into your phones. But alright guys, so that's my review of the DeWALT MD501. Hopefully if you're thinking about purchasing it, that can kind of help you. I mean, everything in this video was just my opinion and, you know, my experience with the phone. Maybe you try it and you might like it. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave me a like down below, and tell me if you'd like me to do a review on something else, and if I have it, I'll do it. Alright guys.